Everyone, welcome to the 44th episode of the Boundless Business Podcast. Uh, you might be noticing if you're watching on YouTube that we don't have a co-host here, but it's me and Justine here. Larissa could not make it today, but we're still gonna have a lot of fun, huh, Justine?
Yes, we are. Yeah, this will be a fun topic. Today we're talking about a little case study use case for the Pixel. So instead of like always having to be prospecting, there are things that we can do to keep clients longer and make them more valuable. Do you want to start with like a couple of things that agencies can do to increase these LTV of their clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's imperative to focus on clients that you currently have. I know a lot of people are talking, and we've talked a lot about how to get new clients, and that's very important. But the real value is in the ability to keep clients, right? If you can keep clients for 3 months longer, 6 months longer, a year longer, the profit on those just dramatically increases as you continue to keep clients, right? As long as the relationship's good and there's still ROI, it's mutually beneficial to both parties. Now, there are multiple ways to increase the value to clients. And for us, what we've noticed, especially with the case studies we're going to go over today, is like, how do we get quicker results to not just cement that we're here to as a partner to help our clients, but also how can we get results to actually get them to the goal that they want, right? So we'll talk about a couple of case studies. First one is one of our partners actually started using our Pixel technology as a form of increasing value for themselves. They saw value in it and then moved it into a couple of clients. This was actually a DTC outdoor brand that they were working with. The client wasn't seeing as much results as they did, right? This was a 3 month engagement. I saw a lot of results month one, and then month two and three, they weren't really seeing too much of it, and they were ready to leave. So our client had a last ditch effort and put the Pixel on the site. Within a couple hours, they had actually like 50 contacts that then could be plugged into a outbound tool to re-engage these people. So all these people got to the last page of, and this was a Shopify website, but they didn't create a profile or anything. So 50 people got, or there's a little bit more than 50. We were able to get 50. Let's just say, I don't know, 100 people got to the checkout page. They hadn't entered their information. So once they leave that part, there's no way of knowing who they are or getting them back into the funnel. Because the pixel was on there, we actually knew their exact email. So we're actually able to email all of them to re-opt them in with a special offer. So if they had product A, they got an email for a discount code or a reminder email saying, hey, product A is still in your checkout cart. That's something that they implemented that morning, started seeing the result that day, and signed a 2 month continuation. So this was a 3 month contract that was going to end. Pixel got in within a couple hours. They were able to extend the lifetime by 2 months with that. Now let's talk about another case study, right? Um, one of our clients is actually running Facebook ads right now, and he is not seeing the return for himself. So what do you do in a scenario, right? You could try different creative and all that. The problem is this campaign had already been working for him, and how his business is set up is like he runs ads for clients, right? Gets them to fill out a form, and then he shares that contact information with his clients, right? So within a day of installing it, he had 10 extra leads, and these are high value ones. We're talking like a lead to his clients is worth $10,000 to $15,000. So hypothetically, right? Let's just say, let's just say like half of the 10 were really good. That's $50,000 minimum added to the client's pipeline within a day. Like that's crazy to think about. So there are ways to actually use this to keep clients longer and without really, obviously there's a cost to what we do, but it's fractions of what you can get. Because realistically, like you see these results within a day, maybe two, it can dramatically turn relationships around. And we've had other podcasts about red to green clients. Um, I'll actually tell a story. Like when we launched this tech, right? We didn't want to launch something that we didn't believe in. So Our website doesn't get a lot of traffic, but it does get traffic, and all of that's because of Justine, Code Justine. What we wanted to do was prove out this concept. So we had, I think, like 300 people come to the site. Our tech wasn't as great as it is now back then. We got 89 emails. Of those 89 that we sent emails to, 50 of them opened it, which is awesome. Uh, 4 responded. 3 were no thank yous. 1 was I'm somewhat interested, and actually got into a call. So these were 89 people who didn't fill out forms. They left no contact information and were able to get 1 call out of that. And they were qualified. There wasn't the contract didn't go anywhere. Uh, they were a little small for what we wanted, but we still got a phone call out of that, which is amazing. And this was all done on autopilot. So we didn't have to touch this campaign. Um, so there's just so many different use cases for it. We are actually going to be working with a partner on the ad side to show what retargeting is going to be able to look like with our pixel installed, which captures just so much more data, is able to train the algorithms on the platforms just so much quicker than pixels for Google or Facebook that are kind of stuck with how iOS 14 is impacting them.
Yeah, can you kind of speak more to like how the Pixel helps validate results right away of these different agencies? Like there's not that delay that there usually is, right?
Absolutely. So the biggest thing is whether you know, you're a PPC agency, SEO, it doesn't really matter what type of agency you are. The hardest part is quantifying wins, right? So let's just talk about for B2C purposes. Let's say that um, uh, email subscribers is a way that you calculate risk or calculate value. So if you go to Klaviyo or whatever software they use, you could see how much a email subscriber is worth to you. Most of the time, let's just say it's 10, most of the time it ranges, but let's say that one email subscriber will buy one item a year, right? And let's say that item's $10. Well, if you get 10 email subscribers, that's $100, right? And the nice thing about what we do is once the pixel's in, you start getting leads that day, right? You can then email them, and even at a 10% conversion rate, right? Uh, you can really quickly start adding email subscribers, and this is just the email side. If you're running ads, you can start training the algorithms much quicker because you're getting double, triple, if not quadruple the amount of data that you're telling Facebook, okay, these people are buying. Only go after them, right? Same with retargeting ads, right? Like you don't want to go marketing to everyone, right? If someone's bought already, right? You and I have probably experienced this, huh, Justine? Like we bought something, we keep getting the same ad for someone who's bought. Like with our Pixel, we can exclude all those people because if you get to the checkout page, we can tell the platforms, hey, these people do not reach out to them. So it's a couple different use cases right there.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. I've definitely gotten ads like that before, and they're very annoying. Another big part of like keeping clients for longer is relationship building, correct? Like just what are your tips for like keeping that relationship strong throughout the entire contract?
Yeah, and this it's kind of goes a little bit past, just Pixel because that's part of the strategy, right? It's not going to be the end all be all. But the biggest thing is like what expectations do you have with the client and how are you communicating the the wins and the losses to them? Because you're not going to knock it out the park every time for a client. That just doesn't happen. Unless you're Justine and you're a content master, like that just doesn't happen. But realistically, they should be getting contact at least once, if not twice a week, even if it's just status updates, checking in. And we have a whole other guide around this. If you're interested, email me at nico@boundlessmedia.com and I can share that. But biggest thing is like you hire someone to do something. And if you don't know what's going on, you start getting that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach of like, what's happening? Am I being scammed and all that? And usually you're not. I mean, I can't speak for everyone. Like it does happen. That's why we have that fear. But realistically, it's probably not that bad. So we had the situation where one of our email campaigns isn't performing to the extent that we want, right? Getting open rates, but not the reply rates that we want. Now, could we shy away from telling the client this? Absolutely. But we're leaning into it. We're having, actually later today, a meeting about that to go over different ideas and scenarios that we can implore um, and put together really quickly to change that. But this would have happened already on our back end, but the client would have never known. He would have been getting these reports and thought, okay, everything looks fine. And then one day it's like, okay, what's going on? Like I'm nervous now. So expectations, communication, um, and just general caring, right? Like actually share, you know, share what's going on and actually care about their business because they're paying you.
Yeah, definitely. So going back to that first client that we were talking about, who their client was about to leave, had the email ready to go, like, I'm firing you. How did they kind of handle that situation by putting our pixel into place? Like, do you know what that communication looked like at all?
Yeah, it was pretty. Is what I call the last ditch effort, right? So it was like, hey, listen, um, like there was a meeting. You could tell that something was going on, and it was quickly, hey, listen, understand that you're not happy, right? Call out that emotion, put something really quickly in, right? A quick next step. And that next step was we have 2 days left on this contract. I want to try something like, and they called it the last ditch effort. Um, and they did, right? So they just put it out there and said, okay, this is our last ditch effort. And over communicated. So they said, hey, it's installed. Hey, there's leads in there. Hey, we're gonna start emailing them. It's we have this protocol for red clients for our agencies and that we put together for our clients. And it's you have to decide with the red client what you're gonna do, right? Are you gonna turn them around, try salvage it, refer them out? If you're gonna try and resalvage it, which this client did, you have to put drastic action in place, which means you have to move, you have to run, you have to do whatever you can to fix the relationship and provide value as soon as possible. And that's what they did.
Anything else you want to add before we end it off?
No, biggest thing is like we want to help you be the next part of our amazing case studies. So if you have questions or want to try this out, email me at nico@getbalancemedia.com and we can get you started. All our socials are getbalancemedia.com. And if we could ever be of value to you, please, please, please let us know. As always, thank you for listening and have the best day ever. Peace.